The notion that the science on climate change is a lie to manipulate Christians is a narrative that has gained traction in some circles. Proponents of this idea argue that climate change is being used as a tool to control and manipulate people, particularly Christians, into adopting certain ideologies or policies. However, this claim is not supported by the overwhelming evidence from the scientific community. Climate change is a well-documented phenomenon that has been extensively studied by scientists across various disciplines. The evidence from multiple lines of research, including temperature records, melting of glaciers, and shifts in the distribution of plants and animals, all point to the same conclusion: the Earth's climate is changing, and human activities are significantly contributing to this change. The scientific consensus on climate change is clear, with nearly all climate scientists agreeing that human-caused climate change is real. The idea that climate change is a hoax or a manipulation tactic is often rooted in misconceptions and a lack of understanding of the science. Some argue that climate change is a natural phenomenon, and that human activities have little to no impact on the climate. However, this argument is not supported by the scientific evidence. While it is true that the Earth's climate has always gone through cycles of change, the current rate of change is unprecedented and is largely driven by human activities such as burning fossil fuels and deforestation. Others argue that climate change is being used as a tool to promote a particular ideology or agenda, such as socialism or environmentalism. However, this argument is also not supported by the evidence. The science on climate change is driven by a desire to understand and describe the natural world, not to promote a particular ideology. The fact that climate change has become a politicized issue does not change the underlying science. It is also worth noting that many Christians are actively engaged in efforts to address climate change, not because they are being manipulated, but because they see it as a moral and spiritual issue. The Bible teaches stewardship of the earth and care for creation, and many Christians see addressing climate change as a way to live out their faith. In fact, many Christian organizations, such as the Evangelical Environmental Network and the Catholic Climate Covenant, are actively working to promote sustainability and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Furthermore, the claim that climate change is a lie to manipulate Christians is often based on a flawed understanding of the relationship between science and faith. Science and faith are not mutually exclusive, and many scientists are also people of faith. The scientific method is a tool for understanding the natural world, and it is not inherently opposed to faith. In fact, many scientists see their work as a way to better understand and appreciate the creation of God. In conclusion, the science on climate change is not a lie to manipulate Christians. The evidence from the scientific community is clear, and it points to the reality of human-caused climate change. While there may be disagreements about the best way to address climate change, the science itself is not in question. Christians, like people of all faiths, have a moral and spiritual obligation to care for creation and address the challenges posed by climate change. Rather than seeing climate change as a manipulation tactic, Christians should see it as an opportunity to live out their faith and promote sustainability and stewardship of the earth. By working together to address climate change, we can build a more just and sustainable world for all people.